Hello everyone, it's Dr. Shalom here of CHEM HEALTH Diagnostics Center, and I welcome you to another episode of the Doc series. Now, for this time, we've been talking with a lot of patients and we've discovered that there is a growing trend of what's happening in society, and that's the problem of infertility. So today I just want to share some information that would help you to understand if truly this is a problem to you and your spouse, or it's something that you shouldn't worry about. Now, before we talk about infertility, I would like to say something little about fertility. Every living organism has the ability to reproduce. So the process of reproduction is only possible if the couple is fertile. That means they have the ability to conceive. So the male and the female, they come together and they're able to conceive a baby. So for that to happen, there are certain processes that must be in place for this to be a success. Generally speaking, the way God designed it is for a man and a woman to come together to have sexual intercourse and exchange certain cells and produce a baby. It's supposed to happen naturally, but we have come to understand that in our society there is a whole lot of stress, there's a whole lot of problems and many factors that hinder this possibility. Before a couple can think of the issue of infertility, there has to be an understanding of the definition of infertility. Now, the general definition is infertility is only said when a couple has engaged in sexual intercourse regularly, and it has to be vaginal sex with ejaculation into the vagina, that's the male sperm goes into the woman's womb, and fertilization is supposed to occur. If it does not occur after regular sexual intercourse for more than a year, that's when the couple can begin to think of the issue of infertility. If you have been married and been trying to conceive and you are not up to a year, don't think of infertility yet. That alone is stressful. So I just want to clear that out. Infertility can only be considered after a year of regular. When I say regular, I'm talking about 3 to 4 times a week of regular sexual intercourse. Not just once a week or once a month. No, that's not enough. You need to have regular sexual intercourse. Now, before we go deeper, let's have a little information about the normal female reproductive tract and the male reproductive tract. Let's move over here. So, this is an illustration of the female reproductive tract. Over here we have the womb and we have the ovaries. This is what depicts just the general information. What happens to a woman at every menstrual cycle? I'll use this picture. It's a little small, but don't worry, just go with what I'm saying. Over here is the ovary, that's that one there. This ovary has millions of eggs, and from the time a woman is born, it is always there. It does not reproduce new ones. They're all there complete. Just every month after puberty, she loses an egg, all right? So at the time of menstruation, what is the entire cycle? There's no time to go through the entire details, but I will just give you a brief understanding. An egg should leave the ovary, all right? In the first phase of what we call the menstrual cycle, the eggs begin to grow, and it's like a competition. So it goes from the millions to hundreds, and it gets to the point that it's just 20 eggs competing for ovulation. And the way God designed it is the healthiest and strongest egg should be the only one to leave the ovary into this tube called the fallopian tube. And that's the tube we always are considering. So once the egg leaves the ovary into the tube, it's called ovulation. Now, once the egg ovulates into the fallopian tube, it's supposed to wait here for fertilization. Now, that egg is only viable for a day. So if there is no fertilization in that day, then this egg will begin to disintegrate together with a part of the womb that was prepared for implantation, and that's what comes out as period. So if this woman ovulates and does not have a sexual intercourse that leads to the ejaculation and presence of sperm, then there'll be no fertilization. If there is no fertilization, there is no conception. That means there won't be a baby. So you can already begin to think that if this woman has not ovulated, there is no presence of an egg, and she has sexual intercourse, the chances of getting pregnant are slim. And that's why there is something called the fertile window. We'll talk about that in our next episode. Now, moving over here, this is where we talk about what happens with the male. This is the only thing I want to talk about here. And in this video, this part of this picture is called the spermatocyte. This big boy here is the one that's responsible for fertilizing the egg. If this does not have the ability to swim, that's with this tail, or it has a little change with its head, or it's not enough, it's not strong enough to swim, then the ability for this man to fertilize a woman is very, very slim. Now, this is just an understanding, a brief overview of what happens between the male and the female, and why it is both of them that are connected to lead to conception. Catch me in the next episode for more information about types of infertility, what causes it, and what we can do to treat it. Thank you.